Our minds are the most private, sacred spaces we possess. They hold our thoughts, our dreams, our very essence. But what if this inner sanctum could be breached, manipulated, and controlled by outside forces? The unsettling truth is, it can. Brainwashing, once relegated to the realm of science fiction, is a chilling reality. It's a subtle, insidious form of coercion that has infiltrated every aspect of our lives. From the flickering screens we're glued to the catchy tunes stuck in our heads, we're constantly bombarded with messages designed to mould our thoughts and behaviours. We're herded like sheep, nudged towards predetermined beliefs and desires, all without ever realising we're being manipulated. This isn't about tinfoil hats or conspiracy theories. It's about understanding the very real mechanisms of control that shape our world. Governments, corporations, and powerful individuals have long sought the keys to the human mind, and history is littered with chilling examples of their endeavours. Projects like MKUltra, shrouded in secrecy and steeped in controversy, delved into the darkest corners of human consciousness, experimenting with drugs, hypnosis, and sensory deprivation to crack the code of mind control. These programs, though officially defunct, have cast a long shadow, laying the foundation for the sophisticated techniques employed today. The age of mass manipulation is upon us, and awareness is our only defence. The notion of brainwashing often evokes images of shadowy figures and sinister laboratories, leading many to dismiss it as the stuff of fantasy. However, the reality is far more subtle, yet no less insidious. Mind control, in its modern form, operates on a subconscious level, weaving itself into the fabric of our daily lives. It's the targeted advertising that seems to know our deepest desires, the carefully curated news feeds that shape our perception of the world. It's the subtle messages embedded in our entertainment, slowly but surely moulding our values and beliefs. While the tools and techniques may have evolved, the goal remains the same: to influence and control human behaviour. To understand the mechanics of modern brainwashing, we must first journey into the depths of the human mind. One pioneering figure who dared to map this uncharted territory was Dr. Timothy Leary, a renowned psychologist and advocate for psychedelic exploration. Leary's 8 circuits of consciousness model provides a framework for understanding how our minds process information and evolve over time. He likened the human mind to an intricate operating system, with each circuit representing a distinct level of consciousness. These circuits, he argued, could be hacked or reprogrammed, much like a computer, to alter our perceptions and behaviours. Leary's work, though controversial, opened up new avenues of understanding how our minds can be influenced and manipulated, both for good and for ill. By grasping the basic principles of these circuits, we can begin to recognise the subtle ways in which external forces seek to control our thoughts and actions. Dr. Timothy Leary, a controversial figure in the annals of psychology, embarked on a journey to decode the enigma of human consciousness. His model of the 8 circuits of consciousness offers a compelling framework for understanding the architecture of our minds. Leary envisioned the human mind not as a monolithic entity, but as a complex system of interconnected circuits, each governing specific functions and behaviours. These circuits, he argued, represented distinct stages of evolutionary development, from our primal survival instincts to the untapped potential of higher consciousness. Imagine the human mind as an intricate tapestry woven from threads of perception, emotion, and thought. Each circuit represents a different colour, a different texture, contributing to the overall richness and complexity of the human experience. Leary's model provides a map, a guide through the labyrinthine pathways of our inner world. The first 4 circuits, he posited, are hardwired into our biology, remnants of our evolutionary journey. They govern basic survival instincts, emotional responses, language acquisition, and social behavior. These are the foundations upon which our conscious experience is built. The remaining 4 circuits, however, represent uncharted territory, dormant potentials waiting to be unlocked. These higher circuits, Leary believed, hold the key to transcendence, to breaking free from the limitations of our animalistic programming. Leary's 8-circuit model, though often dismissed as pseudoscience, resonates with the ancient wisdom of esoteric traditions. The circuits, he argued, are not merely biological pathways, but gateways to different dimensions of experience. The first circuit, the oral biosurvival circuit, is rooted in our primal need for sustenance and security. It's the voice of our reptilian brain, urging us to eat, to fight, to flee, to ensure the survival of our genes. The second circuit, the emotional territorial circuit, governs our sense of self, our boundaries, and our place in the social hierarchy. It's the driving force behind our territorial instincts, our need for dominance, and our fear of humiliation. The third circuit, the neurosemantic dexterity circuit, marks the emergence of language and abstract thought. It's the ability to manipulate symbols, to reason, to plan, to navigate the complexities of the human world. The fourth circuit, the domestic, socio-sexual circuit, is the realm of social conditioning, morality, and cultural norms. It's the voice of our parents, our teachers, our society, shaping our beliefs and values. These first 4 circuits, Leary argued, are the default settings of the human mind, the programs that keep us tethered to the material world. But beyond these lie 4 higher circuits, gateways to expanded awareness and untapped potential. The remaining 4 circuits in Leary's model represent the next stage of human evolution, dormant potentials waiting to be awakened. The 5th circuit, the neurosomatic circuit, is the realm of sensory experience, pleasure, and ecstasy. It's the feeling of wind in our hair, the taste of delicious food, the joy of human connection. It's the circuit that allows us to experience the world with a childlike sense of wonder. The 6th circuit, the meta-programming circuit, is the seat of our beliefs and self-identity. It's the ability to question our programming, to rewrite the scripts that govern our lives. The 7th circuit, the morphogenetic circuit, is the realm of intuition, psychic abilities, and collective consciousness. It's the feeling of interconnectedness with all things, the sense of tapping into a universal mind. The 8th circuit, the quantum network circuit, represents the pinnacle of human potential, a state of pure consciousness, unconstrained by time and space. Leary believed that these higher circuits could be activated through various means, including meditation, yoga, and psychedelic substances. He saw the human mind as a vast, uncharted territory, ripe for exploration and expansion. While Leary's model may lack scientific validation, it offers a compelling framework for understanding the potential of human consciousness. His work, though controversial, continues to inspire those seeking to unlock the mysteries of the mind and explore the uncharted territories of human experience. The idea that our minds can be hacked, that our very perceptions and behaviours can be manipulated, is a chilling prospect. Yet, it is precisely this understanding that empowers us to reclaim control of our own consciousness. Now let's take a step into not too recent history. In the aftermath of World War II, as the world reeled from the horrors of Nazi atrocities, a new battle was brewing, a silent war for the control of the human mind. In the United States, shrouded in secrecy, Project Bluebird emerged from the shadows. Initiated in 1951, its objective was as chilling as it was ambitious: to create the ultimate weapon, a human being stripped of free will, a programmable drone, a puppet dancing to the strings of its unseen masters. The driving force behind this sinister endeavour was the burgeoning Cold War paranoia, the fear that communist spies had infiltrated every level of American society. The CIA, desperate to gain an edge in this high-stakes game of espionage, turned to the dark arts of mind control, seeking to create sleeper agents, individuals who could be programmed to carry out covert operations without any memory of their actions. The architects of Project Bluebird were driven by the belief that the human mind, like any machine, could be disassembled, rewired, and rebuilt to their specifications. They experimented with a toxic cocktail of drugs, hypnosis, and psychological torture, seeking to shatter the psyches of their subjects, to break them down and mould them into obedient instruments of the state. What began as a quest for the perfect spy quickly spiraled into something far more sinister, a descent into the darkest recesses of human cruelty and scientific hubris. The ethical boundaries of human experimentation were crossed with impunity, leaving a trail of shattered lives and unanswered questions in its wake. Project Bluebird, with its chilling ambitions, soon evolved into something even more monstrous: MKUltra. This clandestine program, operating under the veil of national security from the 1950s to the early 1970s, plumbed the depths of human depravity in its relentless pursuit of mind control. The CIA, fueled by Cold War paranoia and a thirst for power, poured millions of dollars into MKUltra, funding experiments on unwitting subjects, many of whom were unsuspecting civilians, prisoners, and even mental health patients. The program's tentacles reached into universities, hospitals, and prisons, corrupting the very institutions entrusted with safeguarding human well-being. The halls of academia echoed with the screams of tortured subjects, as researchers, their consciences seared by ambition, subjected them to a nightmarish array of experiments. LSD, the mind-bending drug that had emerged from the counterculture, became a favoured tool of MKUltra's mind-benders. Subjects were injected with massive doses of LSD, their senses bombarded with flashing lights and jarring sounds, their minds pushed to the brink of madness in a twisted attempt to shatter their personalities and implant new identities. Hypnosis, electroshock therapy, and sensory deprivation were just a few of the other brutal methods employed in MKUltra's quest to unlock the secrets of mind control. The program's legacy is a stain on the American conscience, a chilling reminder of the dangers of unchecked power and the ease with which scientific curiosity can be twisted into instruments of torture. However, these horrors of MKUltra did not emerge in a vacuum. The seeds of this monstrous program were sown in the ashes of Nazi Germany, where the quest for control over the human mind had reached a terrifying zenith. Joseph Mengele, the infamous angel of death of Auschwitz, conducted barbaric experiments on concentration camp prisoners, driven by a twisted ideology that sought to create a master race through genetic manipulation and psychological conditioning. Mengele's work, though condemned as the epitome of scientific barbarism, did not die with the fall of the Third Reich. After the war, as part of Operation Paperclip, the United States government granted immunity to numerous Nazi scientists, including those involved in mind control research, in exchange for their expertise. These scientists, their hands stained with the blood of innocent victims, were welcomed into the fold of American intelligence agencies, their knowledge and techniques absorbed into the burgeoning field of mind control research. The line between victim and perpetrator blurred as the architects of Nazi atrocities became the architects of America's clandestine mind control programs. This dark legacy continues to this day. The techniques pioneered in the clandestine laboratories of MK Ultra have not disappeared. They have simply evolved, adapting to the technological advancements of the 21st century. The tools of mass manipulation have become more sophisticated, more insidious, and more pervasive. From the targeted advertising that bombards us on social media to the carefully curated news feeds that shape our perception of reality, the battle for our minds is being waged on a global scale. The quest to control human consciousness, once relegated to the shadows, has entered the digital age, and we are all unwitting participants in this grand experiment. The human mind, for all its complexity, is a surprisingly malleable instrument. Like clay in the hands of a skilled artisan, it can be moulded, shaped, and reshaped through the application of specific techniques. The architects of mind control, both past and present, have developed an arsenal of tools designed to exploit the vulnerabilities of human consciousness, to bypass our critical faculties, and to implant thoughts, beliefs, and behaviours. Hypnosis, a state of heightened suggestibility, has long been a favoured tool of mind control practitioners. By inducing a trance-like state, hypnotists can gain access to the subconscious mind, bypassing the critical filters of the conscious mind. In this vulnerable state, suggestions can be implanted with alarming ease, shaping perceptions, beliefs, and even memories. Trauma, both physical and psychological, is another key weapon in the arsenal of mind control. When the mind is subjected to overwhelming stress, it fragments, creating dissociative states that can be exploited to implant new programming. Torture, abuse, and fear become the sculptor's tools, chiseling away at the victim's sense of self, leaving them vulnerable to manipulation. The goal is to shatter the individual's sense of reality, to break down their resistance, and to mould them into a compliant and obedient subject. The techniques may be brutal, but their effectiveness is undeniable. The human mind, when pushed to its limits, will seek any escape, any refuge, even if it means surrendering its autonomy to its tormentor. Trauma is not merely an unfortunate byproduct of mind control. It is the very foundation upon which control is built. The architects of mind control understand that a wounded mind is a malleable mind, a mind ripe for reprogramming. They deliberately inflict trauma, both physical and psychological, to shatter the individual's sense of self, to create fissures in the psyche that they can then exploit. Imagine a pristine mirror reflecting back a clear and unified image. Then imagine that mirror being struck with a hammer, the impact sending cracked spider webbing across its surface. The reflected image is now fragmented, distorted, unrecognizable. This is what trauma does to the human mind. It shatters our sense of wholeness, leaving us vulnerable to manipulation. The techniques used to inflict trauma are as varied as they are cruel. Sleep deprivation, sensory overload, humiliation, isolation, and sexual abuse are just a few of the weapons in the tormentor's arsenal. Each blow is designed to chip away at the victim's resilience, to erode their sense of self, to leave them feeling powerless and alone. In the aftermath of trauma, the mind desperately seeks to protect itself from further pain. It may retreat into denial, repress memories, or even create alternate personalities to cope with the unbearable reality. These coping mechanisms, while understandable, create vulnerabilities that skilled manipulators can exploit. The fragmented mind, desperate for relief, becomes easy prey for those who offer solace, guidance, and a sense of belonging, even if those offering it have ulterior motives. The tools of mind control are not static. They are constantly evolving, adapting to the latest scientific advancements and cultural trends. What began with crude experiments in hypnosis and electroshock therapy has morphed into a sophisticated science of persuasion, leveraging cutting-edge technology and a deep understanding of human psychology. Psychedelic drugs, once seen as tools for spiritual exploration and personal growth, became favored weapons in the CIA's MK Ultra program. LSD, in particular, with its ability to dissolve ego boundaries and induce altered states of consciousness, was seen as a key to unlocking the secrets of mind control. While the official stance is that these programs have been discontinued, the knowledge gained from these experiments has undoubtedly informed the development of more subtle and insidious forms of psychological manipulation. In the digital age, social media has emerged as the new frontier of mind control. Algorithms designed to keep us glued to our screens track our every click, like, and share, building detailed profiles of our interests, beliefs, and vulnerabilities. This data is then used to target us with personalized content designed to reinforce our existing biases, to manipulate our emotions, and to influence our behavior. The news we consume, the products we buy, the people we vote for, all are increasingly shaped by algorithms designed to keep us engaged, outraged, and ultimately under control. The internet, once hailed as a tool for democratization and empowerment, has become a double-edged sword. While it has connected us in unprecedented ways, it has also created new avenues for surveillance, manipulation, and control. The battle for our minds is being waged in the digital realm, and the stakes have never been higher. We now live in a world where our every move, both online and offline, is tracked, analysed, and monetised. The digital revolution, while bringing about unprecedented levels of connectivity and information sharing, has also ushered in an era of mass surveillance and manipulation. Our smartphones, our computers, even our homes have become nodes in a vast digital panopticon, where our thoughts, desires, and behaviours are constantly monitored and manipulated. The internet, once hailed as a tool for democratization and empowerment, has become a double-edged sword. While it has given a voice to the voiceless and connected us in unprecedented ways, it has also created new avenues for surveillance, censorship, and control. Governments and corporations alike are racing to exploit the power of the digital realm, using sophisticated algorithms and data mining techniques to shape public opinion, suppress dissent, and maintain their grip on power. The concept of privacy, once considered a fundamental human right, is rapidly eroding as our online and offline lives become increasingly intertwined. Facial recognition software, social media monitoring, and geolocation tracking have made it virtually impossible to move through the world without leaving a digital trail. This data, collected and analysed by governments and corporations, is used to create detailed profiles of our lives, predicting our behaviour, influencing our choices, and ultimately shaping our destinies. We are entering a new era of digital authoritarianism, where the tools of control are not brute force and intimidation, but subtle persuasion and manipulation. The battle for our minds is being waged in the digital realm, and the stakes have never been higher. Social media platforms, with their promise of connection and community, have become breeding grounds for conformity and manipulation. Algorithms designed to maximize engagement and profit feed us a steady diet of content tailored to our existing biases, creating echo chambers where dissenting voices are silenced and critical thinking is stifled. We are constantly bombarded with information that confirms our worldview, reinforcing our beliefs and deepening our divisions. The very design of social media platforms encourages shallow interactions and emotional reactivity. Likes, shares, and comments become the currency of social validation, fueling a cycle of attention-seeking and validation-seeking behavior. We are conditioned to value popularity over substance, conformity over critical thinking, and outrage over empathy. This creates a fertile ground for manipulation, as those who can tap into our emotions and exploit our biases can easily sway our opinions and behaviors. The algorithms that curate our social media feeds are not neutral arbiters of information. They are designed to keep us engaged, outraged, and ultimately under control. They prioritize content that is likely to evoke strong emotional responses, whether it is anger, fear, or outrage. This constant barrage of negativity takes a toll on our mental and emotional well-being, making us more susceptible to manipulation and less likely to engage in critical thinking. We are becoming increasingly isolated from dissenting viewpoints, trapped in echo chambers of our own making. This creates a dangerous feedback loop where our biases are constantly reinforced and our ability to engage in reasoned discourse is eroded. This is not the free and open exchange of ideas that the internet once promised. It is the digital equivalent of a carefully controlled propaganda machine. Our smartphones, once hailed as tools of liberation and empowerment, have become extensions of ourselves, tethered to our hands and our minds. We spend countless hours scrolling through social media feeds, checking emails and consuming news. Our attention spans shrinking, our critical faculties dulled by the constant stream of information overload. These devices, designed to connect us to the world, have become insidious tools of distraction, manipulation, and control. The addictive nature of smartphones is no accident. Tech companies employ teams of psychologists and behavioral scientists to engineer their products to be as addictive as possible, exploiting our brain's reward systems to keep us hooked. Every notification, every like, every share triggers a dopamine rush, reinforcing the addictive cycle. We become slaves to our devices, constantly checking for updates, seeking validation, and fearing disconnection. Beyond their addictive qualities, smartphones have become powerful tools of surveillance and manipulation. Our location, our contacts, our browsing history, all are tracked and analysed, creating a detailed portrait of our lives that can be used to target us with personalised advertising, propaganda, and even disinformation. The line between our online and offline selves has blurred, and our smartphones have become the key to unlocking our innermost thoughts and desires. The technology exists to track our every move, listen to our conversations, and even predict our future behaviour. The only question is, how far will we allow this invasion of privacy to go? The time to reclaim control of our digital lives is now, before it's too late. We must become conscious consumers of technology, setting boundaries, protecting our privacy, and reclaiming our autonomy. The annals of history are replete with accounts of individuals who have tapped into extraordinary states of consciousness, often leading to groundbreaking discoveries and innovations. But what if these altered states, these moments of creative genius, could be artificially induced, harnessed and weaponized for nefarious purposes? The line between inspiration and manipulation blurs when we consider the potential for external forces to influence these profound shifts in perception and thought. Take, for example, the story of Larry Page, the visionary co-founder of Google. In 1996, Page had a vivid dream, a vision of a massive room filled with metal cabinets containing all the information in the world. This dream sparked the idea for Google, a search engine that would organize the vast and ever-growing sea of information on the internet. Was this a moment of pure inspiration, or was it something more? Could it be that Page, whether consciously or unconsciously, tapped into a realm of knowledge and insight that is usually hidden from view? Similarly, Dmitri Mendeleev, the creator of the periodic table of elements, reportedly conceived of his groundbreaking system while in a dreamlike state. Mendeleev himself claimed that the arrangement of the elements came to him in a vision, as if the secrets of the universe were being revealed to him in a flash of insight. These accounts raise intriguing questions about the nature of consciousness, creativity, and the potential for external influence. Could it be that our minds are more permeable than we realize, susceptible to subtle forms of programming and manipulation that operate below the level of conscious awareness? The idea is both exhilarating and unsettling, suggesting that our thoughts, beliefs, and even our most profound insights may not be entirely our own. In the digital age, the battle for our minds is being waged on a new front, the realm of social media and online content. Influencers, with their massive followings and carefully crafted personas, have become powerful vectors for spreading ideas, shaping opinions, and even dictating behavior. But what happens when these influencers are not merely charismatic individuals, but carefully cultivated products of a hidden agenda, their every word and action designed to manipulate and control? Consider the case of Andrew Tate, the controversial internet personality who has amassed a legion of followers with his misogynistic rhetoric and hyper-masculine persona. Tate's rise to fame is often attributed to his savvy use of social media and his ability to tap into the anxieties and insecurities of young men. But is there more to the story than meets the eye? Some have pointed to the striking similarities between Tate's logo and the insignia of the US Army Psychological Operations Unit, suggesting that his rise to prominence may not be entirely organic. Could it be that Tate is a product of a sophisticated psyop, a carefully crafted weapon of mass influence designed to shape the beliefs and behaviours of young men? And I am not stating that he is, but we should always question what is being pushed. There are many other examples, such as Jordan Peterson, Russell Brand, and others in the new so-called alternative media. The algorithms that power social media platforms like TikTok and Instagram have created a new breed of influencer, the algorithmic puppet. These individuals, often chosen for their pre-existing biases and their ability to generate engagement, are rewarded by the algorithm for promoting content that reinforces those biases, creating a feedback loop of extremism and polarization. The danger of this algorithmic manipulation is that it is often invisible, operating beneath the level of conscious awareness. We are constantly being nudged and manipulated by forces that we do not understand and cannot control. Our thoughts and behaviors shaped by algorithms designed to maximize engagement and profit, often at the expense of truth, reason, and critical thinking. We are becoming unwitting participants in our own programming, our minds molded by forces that seek to control us. From the clandestine laboratories of MK Ultra, to the addictive algorithms of social media, the quest to control the human mind has taken many forms. What was once the stuff of science fiction has become a chilling reality, a pervasive force shaping our thoughts, beliefs, and behaviours in ways both subtle and profound. The digital age, with its unprecedented levels of connectivity and information overload, has created fertile ground for manipulation, blurring the lines between reality and manufactured consent. We are bombarded with carefully curated content designed to reinforce our biases, stoke our fears, and ultimately steer us towards predetermined outcomes. The very devices we embrace as tools of liberation, our smartphones, our computers, our social media platforms, and now the emergence of artificial intelligence, have become instruments of control, extensions of a system that seeks to predict and manipulate our every move. The techniques may have evolved, but the goal remains the same: to mold the human mind into a compliant and predictable entity, stripped of its autonomy and its capacity for critical thought. But awareness is the first step towards resistance. By understanding the mechanics of manipulation, by recognizing the subtle cues and triggers that shape our perceptions, we can begin to reclaim control of our own minds. The future of humanity hinges on our ability to break free from the shackles of mental manipulation, to cultivate critical thinking, and to embrace the power of independent thought. The battle for our minds is raging on, but the outcome is far from certain. The choice, as always, is ours to make. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video through. I hope you have enjoyed it and found some of the information useful to you. If you have, please could I ask you to subscribe, like and share, as it helps beat those algorithms we fight against. Please do comment below, as I love to hear your thoughts.